All right, we are live. Episode 4, starting out of the gate real well there. MJ, yeah,
it's hemorrhoid. It's all good.
Yeah. He's sitting on his donut.
Yep.
All right, so how's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 4. 4 weeks in a row, we have not left you hanging. Bringing you all the sports content. We're so proud of ourselves.
Let's see we have to do next. We have to do next week. It's the Super Bowl, so we have to do it.
This week would have been a great week to skip.
Yeah,
when you're like, oh, our second topic is going to be baseball. I'm like, oh God.
And you thought it was college baseball, which makes it even better.
Yeah, no, it was really bad.
All right. Well, we're going to start off with Conor McGregor and the recap of that fight with Dustin Poirier. However you say his last name, I can never say it right.
Poirier. I
don't know.
Poirier.
Justin, you watched the whole fight?
Yep.
Me too.
I only saw the highlights. So MJ and Justin, I'm going to let you lead through this, and I'll give my thoughts on the highlights of it.
Go ahead, Justin. You can go first. I have mixed feelings about it.
I think that it's a crazy overreaction that's going on. Like, as far as it being a terrible fight and, you know, the worst he's looked and blah, blah, blah. Like, he looked really good in the first round. He actually, if he would have pressured, he got Dustin once with a left that staggered him hard, and he didn't keep, like, pressing forward. He probably should have. He probably couldn't because of his leg. But I think the only thing that changed that fight was that he just kept getting his leg kicked. And I think he tried to check it. I think he just beat it up. Like, his leg was so beat up. And the knockout, when he went to step back, he was trying to step into one of his punches and his leg just gave out. Like, there's nothing you can do. So, I mean, you win some, you lose some. I think that he really does. I hope he bounces back within the next couple months here and fights again. I don't care who it is. I think Poirier would be a fine rematch fight right away. I think there's a lot of other fights in the division. But, yeah, I don't think it was a fluke. I think Poirier fought a great fight. I think Poirier's a top 5 fighter in the UFC, too. So, well, all this.
Isn't his only loss in, like, the last 6 years to Khabib?
Yeah, Khabib in the past, like, 6 years, and then Conor when they were children, basically. So, I mean, like, he's a great fighter. And that's the other thing that everyone's like, you know, Conor's washed. He's not good. He lost to Khabib, who's possibly the best fighter of all time in the UFC, and Poirier, who just came off an interim championship and lost to Khabib. Like, he's not, I don't know. If he fights,
I don't think he's washed up. I think that is an overreaction for sure. And I think it's good to hear that in the post-fight press conference that he's like, no, I plan on scheduling more fights. I plan on continuing to fight. I think we all knew when he said he was retiring that was going to be very short-lived. But from the highlights that I watched, I agree, Justin. I mean, his leg was completely gone, especially by the end of round 1 going into round 2. And I mean, the poor guy, like, left on a full leg brace, basically. I mean, his leg was jello. There was nothing he could do. I mean, and even, like, people were like, he wasn't checking enough kicks. I mean, at some point you can keep checking them, but you're still getting kicked in the leg. And
because you're checking them doesn't mean it doesn't hurt and doesn't cause damage.
Well, but he, if you look at his past fights when it comes to leg kicks, he wasn't doing something he usually does, which blew my mind. Anytime someone's tried it, because that front leg's always out. And every fight he's ever been in, that leg's always there. And usually what he does is when somebody goes for a leg kick, he draws it and then throws a left cross right to their mouth. He was not doing that. I don't know why.
I think the difference is, though, that Poirier is also southpaw. So it's different.
Right.
Most people that aren't southpaw throw their back leg is being thrown at his front leg. So to get to that, it's such a hard kick to make for most people that I don't think that he really what they're normally doing is throwing off of their front leg then. So it's easier for him to throw the cross. Whereas Poirier's a southpaw, had easy access to his leg and was just hacking at it the whole time.
Yeah. And he missed a lot of shots. And I think that's all timing based.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought.
Yeah, and he even admitted that. Yeah.
He didn't fight for a year, and then he didn't fight for a year before that.
Yeah. And you can train all you want. There's no when
You
you're
can't
training.
substitute the real thing.
Yeah.
Also, Poirier's last loss before Khabib was September 27th, 2014 against Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
So that was his last loss.
So I mean, yeah, it's crazy though, and I'll never get this. I'm always a fan of like the Connors, the LeBrons, the Connor McDavids in hockey. I don't like baseball, football. Patrick Mahomes. Like I don't understand why so many people hate on like the most popular, like best person in the sport. Like he's unequivocally good for the sport. He even did it this time and last time without like the whole trash talk at the beginning and everything. And he's still going to be their best pay-per-view. And he
Dude,
lost
any-
this fight, and he'll be their best pay-per-view in a few months anyway.
Any fighter that fights in their life's changed immediately after.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw.
if Poirier fights, I'm trying to think who he would even fight for the title right now. But if he would fight, if Khabib doesn't come back and he fought Oliveira, do you think Poirier Oliveira does the Conor Poirier round 3 numbers?
No.
Or Poirier Gaethje or Poirier Ferguson or like none of them do any numbers.
No.
So
It's,
like
you need him.
yeah,
Like,
you-
and I
don't
mean,
need
Dustin made made just over $1 million off this fight. I mean, Connor got 5, and then he gets pay-per-view money,
Right,
but
yeah.
he negotiated better. Like,
Right.
you can do
right.
that when you're the face.
yeah.
Right.
So I think he'll be fine. It was,
I still hope he fights as much as he said he wanted.
yeah,
to.
me too. And the thing is, though, everyone just expects, especially coming off of what he did to Cowboy, like 40 seconds. I think that anything that you do then, if you go a couple rounds, it's a failure. You know,
And as much as his skill played into that victory over Cowboy, there was also a great deal of luck of the timing of that strike, where it landed, how it landed, and that it knocked him out. So like people need to give him a little bit of a break.
I wouldn't say it was luck because he did the same thing to Dustin the first time they clinched.
No, I agree. I just said I think there's a little bit of luck that goes into it. I mean, obviously his skill is unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Um,
saw a ton online, people saying that he didn't look good. And I'm like, I thought in the first round, I was like, he looks really good. Then I was like, his legs getting beat up. That's probably not all right. And then by the second round, I was like, oh,
which
he
fight
can't
was it?
stand.
Which fight was it? It was Joe Rogan was commentating. I think it was 2 years ago. It was the fight. You know what? It was the fight where Derek, my balls hot Lewis first came out. That was that. It was that card. And I remember Rogan. I forget who was fighting before them. He literally kept saying through the microphones, and there was still a crowd at this point. So the fighters couldn't hear it. You can't eat leg kicks. You can't eat leg. And he said it over and over and over. And finally, the guy's leg in like round 4 or round 3 just gave out.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, even as much as you check those, you're still eating them.
Yeah, you can't eat leg kicks. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's other than that, the rest of the card was. I thought the rest of the card was very good. Michael Chandler. Woo!
Yeah. Which, funny enough, I don't know if I watched his Bellator when he fought Brett Primus a couple years back. He had the exact same thing happen to him that Conor had happened to him this fight. It was for a Bellator championship, and Primus literally was just hacking his leg to a point where he was trying to fight, but it was worse than Conor's because his would just fold on him and he would just fall on the ground, and then he would go to stand up and fall on the ground again because his leg was completely dead. But yeah, like same thing happened. But yeah, he looked really good. Dan Hooker didn't even look like he wanted to be in there though. Honestly, he was just,
and now he can't go back to
sluggish.
to the UK until March or April or something.
Why?
I don't know.
Probably COVID travel. I don't know.
But like at those 14 days, you land, you stay somewhere, and you're done.
I don't know. I don't know what it's like for international
He was from
travel.
New Zealand.
What?
I thought he was from New Zealand.
Yeah, and I was going to say New Zealand's like
Is he from
completely
New Zealand?
fine.
I think so.
I thought it was
they all sound the same.
I thought that. Hold on, Dan Hooker.
but it's New Zealand because he fought the same. He was with the same camp that like Izzy Adesanya is.
Oh, well then why won't they let him back until March? Hold on.
I have no
I mean,
idea.
New Zealand probably has more restrictions than anywhere.
No, they were. I thought New Zealand was one of the ones that like got rid of it.
No, they didn't.
They're landlocked. Waterlocked is what I meant. An island. You know,
I was
geography.
like, I wasn't going to say anything, and I was like, he'll figure it out.
We're kicking butt right now. We're like, oh, that British guy from New Zealand that's covered around. There's land all around it.
Dan Hooker committed to blah blah. He did so to Nash.
Is that the same bike I have behind you, Kevin? Or did you get a different?
No. This is
You're
different.
facing.
Hmm.
Made
about
by
to get a
Marcy.
Peloton.
Really?
Yeah, I like the classes. That sounds like a fun idea. You know, a little.
Oh, he
spin
can't-
class
Yeah,
he
it gives
can't-
you a little bit more.
He can't book a fight. He can't book a flight back until February 21st, and then he has to do the 2-week quarantine.
So he's just chilling there. For
He's
a
in
month?
Abu Dhabi, just there.
All right. Well, have fun. Live your life. So yeah, it was a good fight. I think people are overreacting to it for sure. But let's go ahead and move into the only other sport in which you're allowed to just drop the gloves and fight, the NHL. Just our weekly update from what you saw at some of the games this past week. Justin, how'd you do in fantasy, buddy? I had a great week. This week, not so great. I'm struggling a little bit here, but last week I was crushing it. My goaltending was amazing. So
As long as my team stays healthy, there's no way I'm losing ever.
oh my God.
I just don't. Yeah, no, my team is
Oh,
so
come on.
solid. What? Are you playing a video or a?
No, that did not happen. But
The Red Wings?
obviously, I don't follow hockey as closely as you two do. But Kevin,
It's been a
let's get
it's been a
excited
stretch.
about Detroit.
I am
Let's get
excited. Dude,
They're
I'm still
eighth. They're eighth.
I'm still excited about them.
They're
Here's
bad.
the thing, dude.
They're horrible.
Okay, but
Just not
Here's
as
the thing,
bad as
though.
we thought they'd be.
I was gonna say, well, you're missing the point though, because neither of you have watched all the games like I have. Okay, most
But
of these
you
games,
put yourself through that 2 and 5.
yeah, because they haven't, dude. The blowout games have been a bunch of empty net goals, and really the only ones that weren't close were these two against Dallas, which we knew because Dallas is defending conference champions. So, I mean, I knew that those games weren't going to be close, but the games against Columbus and Carolina were well thought, well played. They just weren't capitalizing on some of the chances. I like what the team has shown me so far, and you know what? If they keep losing, whatever, but I'm still looking for what are the young guys able to contribute, and they look pretty good. Now, obviously, I want to see Anthony Mantha play better. That guy's got to step up since he's supposed to be our number 2 offensive weapon. There's a lot of
the
guys. that need
second
to-
worst goal differential in hockey.
I'm aware of what the stats say. I'm just
So we're
telling you
doing
I've
the
been watching
same
these
thing
games.
we did last year.
We're not doing the same. It's been 8 games they've played. It's all good.
What do you think?
I mean,
their
they
goal
only
what do you think their goal differential is going to finish as?
I don't know.
Take a stab.
Never saw-
minus
I know it
literally
can't, it can't be over 100.
minus 74.
I have no idea, but we'll see. Give me till like 20 games to get a full evaluation, but these guys, they're getting it together. I never thought they were going to win the division. So you haven't watched the game. You can't say anything. The Capitals in the East are currently leading with 13 points. The Bruins and Flyers. The Fly guys have held on to a couple weird games. The Bruins have kind of also been the same way. They dropped a weird one to Buffalo early. But the Penguins are kind of the story right here, that they're kind of still middle of the road, not as good as most people thought. What's your take on them, Justin?
Their goaltending's just been kind of trash. They got rid of Matt Murray, and that was a terrible idea. Because that Jari
What'd
guy
they get
had
in
like
return
half
for
a good
that?
season. I don't
Did
know what they got.
trade Yeah, I can't
But-
remember.
But I know they got Jari was like, he did really well for them last year. So then they were like, oh, well, we're good with our goalie of the future. And he's fine. He's not terrible, but he hasn't been great by any means. But yeah, no, that team, New York Islanders, I thought would be a lot better. Their goaltending's been good. They just haven't scored much. And last night they were up 3-0 against the Capitals, and then Capitals, I think, scored 5 in the second period.
Oh no!
It was 3-0 first period for the Islanders, and then 5-3 for the Capitals by the end of the second. So they've been.
I'll tell you who's
weird
letting
team.
me down so far in the East right now is the Islanders. I mean, Varlamov is doing everything he can. I mean,
Yeah.
he's one of the best goalies right now through the first 7-8 games, and yet the Islanders Barzal is like it. He's the only guy able to really get anything going for them. The Devils also are kind of leaning on their goalie. Blackwood is like the
Mhm.
only guy that they're really leaning on.
Yeah, they're not giving
Um,
up anything.
No, but but it's just, no offense there. So that's a story in the East. What do you take in the West Division with the Golden Knights and Avalanche?
Pretty much what we thought, right? I think it was always between Golden Knights and Avalanche. I think I picked Avalanche. Golden Knights are probably the popular pick too. Like, it's pretty much chalk there, I feel like.
The Wild, though, right up there with 10 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was going to be a battle for that 4 seed.
But this is going to be an interesting. And the Kings are playing better than we thought they were too. But that being said, the Ducks, Coyotes, and Sharks are a mess.
Yeah, and their division's so bad. Like the West is just
it might be the
division.
Weakest.
Yeah. Kings, Anaheim, Arizona, San Jose, they're all bad.
Yeah. And then finally in the North, the Canadian division, which has been, again, so much fun to watch. All these matchups have been great. The Maple Leafs are holding on to that first spot, Justin, 14 points. Maybe they aren't going to be fake news. I mean, we'll find out.
We're not 20 games in. We can't make that assessment.
No, they'll be.
Yeah, we can't. But maybe they're not. We'll see, come playoff time. But the Montreal Canadiens, again, continue to surprise everybody with the way they've been playing. And these 4, the Oilers, Flames, and Senators, it's a pretty sharp drop-off after the Canucks. But, those top 4 teams are already in double-digit points. So
I think Oilers were one of your picks for.
They were, dude. They are not.
It's just their goaltending, and Connor McDavid isn't shooting ever, so that's annoying.
Well, and that's the thing. When you got him and Draisaitl on the same line,
you shouldn't.
I'm expecting a lot of assists and a lot of goals. I don't get it. And their defense isn't bad. So, but the goaltending, that's kind of rough. But what's your number one takeaway team from the first couple weeks here? Mine's the Canadians. I just think they're scary. They're way more than we thought they would be.
Yeah, Canadians have been good. Dallas coming out of quarantine has been electric. They look really
so good.
Yeah, so they're not giving up any goals. They have a plus 13 goal differential in 4 games. Like they're looking great.
Yeah. So we're continue to watch some of these games. It's been so cool that literally every day there's at least one hockey game on. So that's been pretty fun. Moving on, guys, in the NL Central, Jock Peterson was traded to the Cubs. Well, signed by the Cubs, actually. So finally, the Cubs adding a big bat after getting rid of some players. They've kind of been selling off the team, really doing a rebuild. Chris Bryant might be the next to get off that team. I think really the only legacy player they're going to hold on to is probably Anthony Rizzo. But in the Central as well, the St. Louis Cardinals are looking into getting Nolan Arenado. This was something that they talked about last year. The Cardinals had said, they're going to save a bunch of money and try to really go after a big star. Again, as a Cardinals fan, I know better because John Mozeliak always teases us with this stuff and then just ends up not getting the big fish that we want. He did get Goldschmidt a few years ago, but that was so rare. So I'd love to see Nolan Arenado. The 2 years I lived in Colorado, it was so much fun watching him play. And I know what he could bring to the team and just how electric he is. But I'm not sure, in order to get a guy like that, you have to, one, really dump all your prospects. And the Cardinals have some of the top prospects in the minor league system. So, do you mortgage a lot of your future for a young, you already know, a superstar, or do you –
Oh, and you're going to eat some garbage contracts from the Rockies.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, too. He has to, obviously, you can't take this contract on unless he gets rid of that opt-out. He has an opt-out after 2021. I would never take on that contract if he could just opt out after a year. So that would have to be waived.
Yeah. If you're going to have to go full Lakers on this, you're going to have to if you think that getting, quote-unquote, the Anthony Davis is going to push the Cardinals over the top, you're mortgaging the future.
Yeah, and I don't know if it pushes them over the top. I definitely think it boosts them to win the Central for sure because the Cubs have depleted themselves. The Brewers haven't done anything. But when I look at a guy like Nolan Arenado, he's a Platinum Glove Award winner almost every year, and he's hitting consistently almost at the 300 mark each season. So I really wouldn't mind if we sold 4 top prospects to get him because we do have a lot of them.
What's a Platinum Glove?
So that's just higher than the Gold Glove. It's just, almost perfection.
What? How many of those do they give out a year? 9?
No.
Is it the
Oh
best
my
player
God.
at every position? It should
Is
be.
this what-
I know nothing
is
about
this what you
baseball,
do?
dude.
Is this what
No,
you
I'm
do?
just thinking. They're like, we have gold gloves, but if we had platinum gloves, that'll make more people like baseball.
Justin, I love you.
then
You're a
and
moron.
then the guy's like, hey, can I do a commercial? And they're like, no, do not grow the game in any way. We have platinum gloves. They will come to us.
Anyway, without Justin's bah humbuggery, MJ, do you think
Oh,
the
man.
Cardinals should mortgage that, or do you think they should?
No,
I mean, the Phillies. Okay.
No, don't get me started on the Phillies. No, I don't think that. Here's the reason. I think it's the same like this year. If the Nets don't win a championship this year, that trade was a failure. The Cardinals, I think the talent you're going after is there, but if it's just to win the division and make a deeper playoff run, if that's truly what you're expecting, it is not worth mortgaging your future.
When
they
you're
can come
already
out-
expecting to win the
Yeah.
division anyway, or
like
possibly.
internally, like if they're like, hey, this move gets us into the World Series, possibly wins one, absolutely do it. But if you are not confident enough to say that, even if you only say it internally, don't do it.
Me as a fan, I'm not confident enough to say that. I mean, I suppose if you look at like 2 seasons ago, we basically have kind of the same team we do now, and we made the NLCS, but we got swept. So it's like, does Nolan Arenado make us not get swept? And I don't know. But it's definitely going to be we either are going to need to like sweeten the deal and give up a lot, or maybe the Rockies because Jeff Bridrich is known for not making great deals. So if he gives us like a really good deal, I say definitely take it. But I agree. I think we need to be careful with the future. But
yeah, man, that's the problem with these blockbuster deals when they go after like high-end players. Like I get it. Some can make a huge difference, but
well, dude, and that's the same case with the Phillies finally re-signing JT Realmuto. Had you guys not done that, you gave up Sixto Sanchez, who's like about to be a Cy Young winner, to get this guy, and you were going to let him walk after a few seasons.
I think we honestly got him on a pretty good deal.
You did get him on a good deal. I mean, for a catcher, he got a great deal because the catcher market never gets that much money, but like, he's so good.
Yeah, but I was just looking at the salaries of the Phillies, and I honestly think we got him on a good deal.
You did get him on a good deal. And I mean, yeah, you got the Phillies, again, I said this the last 3 years, are better on paper than they've been on the field. So, I mean, we'll see as we get.
Sounds like most of Philadelphia. Anywho,
yeah, yeah. So, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see what happens there. College basketball, not college baseball, Justin. College basketball.
Thank God. God, college baseball.
College basketball. It's been a pretty interesting season so far, guys. I mean, obviously it's so crazy that it's the first time in 60 some years that there was a point where Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, and was it just those three? Or was there a fourth that they weren't in the top 25?
Yeah, we're terrible.
I tried to watch the Duke game the other night when they played Georgia Tech. I couldn't do it. It was so awful. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Duke's
straight up. Penn State almost beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
I didn't see that game.
Yeah, it was a close game.
Some of these teams I'm not shocked at seeing in the top here. I mean, Gonzaga, they've got such a great lineup, and they're always kind of in the mix. Villanova, Michigan. I'll tell you what.
I'm so happy for Michigan.
Yeah, that's really good for that school. Iowa, I mean, MJ really hates Michigan, so I get you. But
I love Iowa too.
Dude, Missouri.
Luke Garza is balling out of his mind.
He's
the
insane.
Mizzou Tigers hanging in there at number 12. They've been looking really good. They had that struggle the other night, but they've been having some pretty good games. Creighton up there, St. Louis at 22. So there's some interesting teams in the top 25. But what are your guys' standouts so far?
Dude, Creighton just had to go to the wire with Seton Hall.
Really?
They were down by like, I think it was like 12 or 15, and they hit like 6 straight threes and went up 3. Like in the last, they just kept getting turnovers. Seton Hall just choked it away.
Dang.
No, I think.
What?
I think it's going to be the March Madness this year is going to be so ridiculous. I feel like, just like betting wise, it's going to be like not betting wise, but like bracket wise, like it's going to be impossible because I don't think there's any like far and away crazy good teams. I mean, there are Gonzaga.
Gonzaga's 16-0 and
No, but,
Baylor's
like,
15-0.
I put no
Right.
stock in Gonzaga being 16-0.
No,
Zero
because,
stock.
Yeah, Gonzaga can get to. I mean, they beat the Tar Heels.
That's true.
But-
They don't really play very
Yeah,
difficult schools.
Exactly. Once it gets to
No, but like once they get to the
happen there.
tournament, like when are you going to finally cash in the deal? Like,
And their first game, when they get to the tournament, they'll win 135
Oh,
to
they'll kill.
50
Yeah.
like they
Yeah,
always
they'll
do.
kill.
It's just that second round.
Gonzaga
through
is
to the end.
always, dude.
Scary.
I think. Remember back at St. Catherine's when we first started printing off brackets and we were all bringing them in and filling out brackets. Gonzaga was always a team that everybody was like, yeah, Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8, and then they would just break your heart. A lot of times you put them in the Final Four, they break your
Right.
heart.
here we go. I'll just do 2000. I'll go back to 2012. 26-7, they're out in the round of 32. 32-3, they're out in the round of 32. 29-7, out in the round of 32. 33-5, Elite 8. 28-8, Sweet 16. 37-2, runner up. I'll give them that one. 32-5, Sweet 16. 33-4, Elite 8. 31-2, postseason didn't happen. I don't care. They could win every single game and they will not win the title. It's not happening. I mean, and some of these 4 seed, 1 seed, 2 seed, 1 seed, 4 seed, 1 seed.
Yeah, they've
like,
been the one seed.
come on. Like even Virginia goes, you know what? We got beat by the last team to get into the tournament. So this year we're gonna win the title. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not impressed with Gonzaga at all. Like great. They're the James Harden of college basketball. They do really well in the regular
Yeah.
season. I'm really impressed with Iowa. I think Iowa proves, just like Butler proved a few years back now, that when you have players that stay all 4 years and learn the system, the continuity, what they can do. Luke Garza is a 4-year player, and I think he's at least top 2 for college basketball player of the year. I mean,
Yeah.
he's playing, and that is 4 years of development. I mean, he was not that good as a freshman or a sophomore. So I'm really impressed with Iowa. I refuse to talk about Michigan.
Dude,
They're there.
do it for
What do you
Juwan
think-
Howard.
what do you think
it's
of
so
our-
cool
what do
that
you think
Juwan
of-
Howard's their coach.
They're
What do you
there.
think of our Mizzou Tigers, man? Have you caught them at all?
I don't like SEC basketball. I don't think it
I didn't
translates to the
know.
tournament.
I didn't know Mizzou had a basketball team, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? Because I don't see Penn State anywhere on there.
Hey, they almost took
NIT,
down a
NIT winner like 3 years ago.
It was close.
What can you guys say? Nothing. All right.
NIT winner.
Yeah.
And our
Duke's
coach got
500.
fired at the beginning of the year.
Almost.
So what did you expect to happen with Penn State this year?
Do you see Coach K? I couldn't hate Coach K more. He gets so butthurt whenever they're like half not good. Did you see his little rant on the like student journalist? Like they're 6-5, and the student journalist just asked something about like, hey, like coming up, on near 500 right now, coming up the next game, blah blah blah. Like, what do you have to do to move forward? And he goes, you know what? Like, let us just he's such a he was like, let us just like what did he say? Like, process this loss first. What's your major? What's your major? And the kid's like, what? And he's like, what's your major? The kid's like, econ. And he goes, imagine you just had a really hard econ test and you knew you failed it. And then you came out and then someone asked you, hey, what are you going to do better on the next econ test? You wouldn't be too happy about that, would you? Well, that's how it feels to be us right now when you're asking those stupid questions. Like, just went in on this like child because he's a garbage person because he can't stand being half not good for once. I hate Coach K.
Wow.
And he
Still
looks
better
like the Albany River rat.
Still better than Roy Williams.
And Roy Williams. Yeah, absolutely.
At least
a better
he
coach than
stands
Roy
up to the
Williams.
things he's done wrong. And Roy Williams, I didn't cheat. I'll just keep hiding behind that.
What thing?
I didn't make up classes for players to go to.
Yep.
Why wouldn't
I didn't sign off on all that. You know what? At least if you're going to cheat and sign off on it, be as good as Bama.
Wait,
Be as good as Bama.
didn't Duke just have a thing with Zion? They paid him like
Still nothing proven. Still nothing proven.
I
mean, I
they're just better
guarantee
at
it
hiding
happened.
it. They're smarter.
Still nothing proven. Still
Just
nothing
because they're
proven.
smarter. We're the
I'm
state
glad
school.
we can admit that.
We're the state school. You're the private school. Like,
Yeah, but if you're gonna make up classes to get players in it, at least win as much as Bama does in football. You can't even do that.
we want a decent amount.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Yeah. So, anything
I
else
hate
you
Justin.
guys want to talk about?
No, I hate Justin. I don't want to talk to him anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. it's
Oh, I
been
will
said.
say this.
Oh, what the playoffs? We totally like the NFC and
Oh, like a
AFC
recap,
championship
yeah.
games. Yeah, I was
So
like,
those
what?
happened.
Yeah. I got
They
both
did?
right, by the way. Tampa
They
Bay,
did?
Kansas City. I got both of them right.
I got both wrong.
Praise me.
I took Tampa Bay. I was correct on that.
No, I
Yeah.
said Green Bay
Tampa
and
Bay.
Buffalo.
I said Tampa Bay and Kansas City. This is the best Super Bowl it could have been.
Hmm.
Yeah. Also, guys, I'm gonna say it. Rodgers isn't that good.
No, get out of here. Rodgers is
What is
so
wrong with you? Are you kidding?
He
That
had
game
an-
was not
he
his
was
fault.
MVP. It wasn't his fault.
It wasn't even
So
close
the
to his
two-
fault.
The two separate plays where they showed the camera angle of wide open 10 yards to run into the end zone. Nope.
No, there was no way he was making that. They had those.
Then he would have got to
still
the
shots.
1 yard line.
No, he would have got to like the 5.
And
It was
Pop,
such a
Are you
weird-
kidding me? No, he was already running forward.
No, it was such a weird angle that they were showing that at. There was no way he was making that. I saw-
Was he 1-5 now in the NFC Championship?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
they gave up a lot of points though, didn't they?
Nick Foles has as many Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers. Gonna throw that out there.
Ben has more.
Yeah, he does.
Ben also has more AFC Championship wins.
and
Yes, he
1.5.
does.
It doesn't matter how they happen. He has
Also,
two rings.
also Art Rooney, or whatever Rooney runs the
It's
team.
Yeah,
alive.
Art Rooney the 18th. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever Rooney runs the team now. They don't look happy that Ben wants to come back.
Well, I don't think anyone really is excited. I mean, here's the thing. You're always excited to have the guy that like led your franchise be a part of your organization, but I think they also know, the window's basically shut. So why do we want to continue to use this guy in his last year of his deal? Now, the one good thing that's come from all of this is Ben has said, I don't care about the money. We can hack it up, whatever. So we'll see just how true that is and how much they'll bring it down.
Yeah, but Kev, even like with the hacking up the money comment, he still didn't look excited about him coming back.
Yeah, I mean,
like, what are you?
I
he
can
didn't
never
have a
read the
bad
Rooneys,
year.
dude. The Rooneys, it's the same reasons why they won't cut Tomlin. I mean, they're the same. They've got the same.
Hey, and thank God you signed Dwayne Haskins. Thank God.
You know what? Yeah, because he's going to work well with a great disciplined coach like
I was going
Tomlin.
to say,
Yeah.
you already have a guy that's a locker room problem.
Wait,
and
that's
you-
official?
Coach. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've had
he
him
signed-
now.
He signed
Yeah,
like
we've
2
had him.
weeks ago.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's terrible. With
Tomlin, it is.
With Tomlin, it's a very bad match.
Yeah,
It's
give
one
me
of the
another
worst
coach.
matches. It couldn't be a worse place for him to go, honestly.
Yeah,
But
with Tomlin.
you know what
Oh.
you're gonna see? Part of those the TikTok duo that you have. I bet Haskins just jumps right in there and he does well with them.
We'll have a
Yeah, no,
trio.
Kev, like the Steelers going into next year, he's going to have to take like a Cam Newton-esque pay cut
Yeah.
and be very incentive heavy because is Juju a free agent this year?
Yeah. And I don't know if he comes back.
Well, that's because someone's going to pay him like a number one when he's not.
And you have to think about you can't pay everyone this year.
Oh yeah,
you
and
have
then
Watt-
what are you
Watt
going to do with
next
Dupree?
year,
What are you going to do
But
with
here's
Dupree?
and here's the good thing with the Steelers. We can let a guy like Juju walk because we have Johnson and Claypool. Like we still have good receivers. So it's like we can let him walk and we draft receivers really well.
He's not
I don't know
number
why.
one, too.
The Steelers know how to draft receivers.
Yeah,
but
but what are you going to do with Bud Dupree?
we have to keep him.
Yeah, but my thing is like,
because he's coming off an injury, you might
yeah,
just
like
have to
he
get rid of
wants
him at that
franchise
point.
money, but he's coming off a torn ACL. What are you doing there?
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see if he'll be a little bit more reasonable because he knows he's coming off the injury.
Or
TJ
he's
Watt
going to be furious
definitely
that you
wants to
didn't
stay.
pay him when you should have paid him, and then he got injured.
Yeah,
That
you're
may
going to
happen
have to
too.
pay Watt next year,
Yeah,
right? Is
Yeah,
that
I
next
mean
year?
he's the defensive player of the year. Yeah, he's got to come back. Yeah. Next year he's up for a
I'm looking
Yeah,
at all your free agents here. I know there was like some weird.
Cam
Oh, there it
Hayward. I
is.
think is a free
Is there
agent.
17? Don't you have 17
There's a
free
lot.
agents?
There's a lot,
Yeah, you have like
and I think
I-
you got to keep Cam Hayward.
Yeah, so you
Townsend
have
might retire. I don't know what's up with that.
you have Dupree, Avery Williamson. I think you already got rid of, didn't you? Or no? If you didn't, then He's
We
another
will.
linebacker.
We will.
Villanueva is another one.
He's had a kind of a bad year though, so I don't know.
Filer's another one. So your left and right tackles are free agents.
Yeah,
Vance
Those-
McDonald retired, right?
he retired.
He
yeah.
retired. But those
But
aren't
Ebron,
cheap.
we should get rid of.
Yeah.
He's
Hilton,
worthless.
Hilton Alualua.
Do you keep,
Alualu, we need to keep.
do you
Alualu
keep
was
James?
humongous.
Do you keep James Conner?
No, we already
He's-
let him
he's gone.
explore free agency.
Oh, he's already
Yeah.
gone.
Or going to be. Cassius March, Sean Davis, your punter, another outside linebacker, Wormley, Dangerfield,
Dangerfield, the Townsend boy. He's
Ray
actually
McLeod.
teams. Yeah.
Kev, I think
Let
the
Ray
Steelers-
walk.
I think the
Spillane.
Steelers are finally going to have to admit that a rebuild may need to happen.
And you know what? It doesn't see. That's the thing too. I agree because I said it when we recapped the season. You know, the window's closed. It's done. It's slam shut. It's over. But the good thing is, I think the Steelers are in a good enough spot that they don't have to do a total rebuild, but a soft rebuild. And so I'm just saying, like, you know, if you let some of these, like, keep Alualu, he was amazing. We need to keep guys like him. Cam Hayward, keep him. You can let Spillane walk if we can keep Dupree. If you can't, keep Spillane. So it's like you just kind of do a little bit of give and take here. But I mean, again, I'm very glad that we're able to have receivers like Washington, Johnson, and Claypool that are all good. That, you know, if we let Juju walk, it's not a big deal. But tight end, we're going to need to fill that position because Ebron definitely has brick hands. My God. And did you see his post? Eric Ebron tweeted, someone had said something about him like dropping passes, and he put like a crying face, and he's like, I tried to give my all for the city. And I'm just like, stop it. You were terrible. You were so bad.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
also,
not
I heard today there was the rumor mill was churning that Carson Wentz still doesn't want to be in Philly.
Are you
That's
serious?
It's bull. It's all bull. I'm telling you, it's bull. It's media crap. I keep seeing all this stuff, and then I see all these posts about people saying,
You're
like,
firing him up there, MJ.
Yeah,
Just wind him up.
I keep
watch him
saying,
go.
seeing these GMs in the league posts where they're like, the media is saying one thing, GMs in the league are saying like they would die if Carson Wentz was available because they're like it's a no-brainer. But then our coach, he had a press conference today. Our new
He
coach,
had a rough presser, buddy.
yeah, it's fine. He was just nervous, but
it
but
was,
he,
it was a little
he did
rough.
say every position was open. But then at the same
As it should be.
Yeah.
We were horrible.
Yeah. But then at the same time did say that like he's already talked to Carson. Carson's already talked to the offensive coordinator, already talked to Jalen Hurts. Like everyone's on the same page. They're excited to work together. So like I don't think there's any
But why couldn't they commit to Carson as their guy?
I
feel like
that's
that's something-
anything to start.
I feel like they should commit to that at the beginning. I feel a new coach coming in. Think about this though. The media has been hounding your team because of this issue, and you get rid of a coach which supposedly resolves the issue. So now the new coach should be able to come in and say, "Yeah, Carson Wentz is our guy. We're excited to be able to back him."
Or opposite, say, yeah, we're exploring stuff for Carson and Jalen's like pick one. You know, like you can't just go. But I do like, I don't know. I think that Carson in one sense has to stop being a baby about things. And if the media stuff is true that he doesn't want a competition, he didn't play like he earned not having a competition this year.
Yeah.
If he wins that competition, I'll be pumped. And I don't think it's going to be a hard competition to win because Hurts didn't look good throwing the past 4 games of the season, like last 4. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see. I'm excited for the year. I'm excited. Like I like the guys that they brought in. I don't think Sirianni's anything like an extreme, like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. But I like the relative unknown because there weren't really. I look around the league, all these coaches that were hired. Is there one that you guys looked at and you're like, there it is? Like that's the coach that there's been like 8 coaches hired right now, and I'm like, who?
Well, and that's why
Are
I
these
understand,
people?
and I've never pushed back hard on the people that say, you know, well, if you get rid of Tomlin, who are you going to get? I agree. I understand that. But at the same time,
Urban Meyer was a big hire.
yeah.
That's
but-
the only splash hire.
Coaxing,
But at the-
coaxing him out of retirement, that was a big hire.
That's a
But at
splash.
the same time, like, I think it's just there needs to be a change of scenery in Pittsburgh. I think it's not so much you're going to get a guy that's going to have the same regular season success as Tomlin right off the bat. But like, here's the thing. I got to also trust the Rooneys. We've had 3 coaches in the last 60 some years or something, like something crazy like that. And all 3 have had pretty darn good success. at least through the regular season. And I mean, Super Bowls. So like nothing bad. So they know how to pick coaches. So I'm leaning more toward being able to trust them and getting somebody. But that's also why they're going to stick with Tomlin until he wants to be done. And that's a problem. Dude, can you believe this? He's about to enter his 15th season, which is where Bill Cowher was when he retired. Like, we're already there with Tomlin. Like, that's bonkers to me that we're already here. And it's like, I think it, but he was so young when we got him. So I think he'll hang around a long time. And
like, I'm looking at the coaches right now that were hired. So you had that Saleh guy from San Fran, the D coordinator. Yeah. So like, I think that he would have been a good hire. Like, I wouldn't have minded getting him. Sirianni for the Eagles, Urban, and then Brandon Staley. So he's on the Chargers now, and he was the Rams defensive coordinator. The same Rams that got absolutely boat raced in any playoff game that they played, other than the Super Bowl, in the most boring Super Bowl of all time.
Dan Campbell gave the best introductory press conference ever.
That was great
for the Lions.
Yeah,
that was great.
We're going to get a street fight in the middle of the game.
Arthur Smith, the Titans offensive coordinator, I was like, I don't want, and he's on the Falcons now. No, the best one is David Culley. The Texans hired him. He is best known as the wide receivers coach for the Kansas City Chiefs the year that they threw 0 touchdowns to wide receivers in the entire year. And they hired that guy whose position group scored 0 touchdowns in the season in a full 16 games.
Dude, can you imagine the anger that is flowing through Deshaun Watson right now? Especially because their GM came out and they were like, here's our new milquetoast coach. And also, we're not getting rid of Deshaun.
Yeah. No, he's going to
he's going to lose his mind, man.
Yeah, but like...
I'd hold out if I was him.
Sure.
I'd just sit.
You're like wasting
That's such a bad... Dude, same with J.J. Watt. That poor guy. Such a
they
bad
need
situation.
to trade him or release him. Like, let him go. He's done everything in the world for you, and you've done nothing for him.
Yeah.
The only two that I was bummed about, one, I would have liked McDaniels. I don't know. It's weird that his name isn't like around.
A lot of people
like,
didn't want McDaniels.
Yeah,
a lot of
people want him.
Dude, he was not a good coach when he was a coach, though.
Yeah, but I think like he always had a weird team. Like he had Tebow, like the Tebow team. He had like a weird combination of teams that he got. But
we don't talk about that name in this house.
Yeah,
and
they went to the playoffs and beat the Steelers.
They did.
They did.
And then Bieniemy, who Anthony in our group chat keeps talking about as him not being hired as a giant racist thing. They can't talk to the guy. Like he's in the Super Bowl. So they couldn't talk to him.
And I've also read and seen, again, these could be garbage sources it's coming from, that he doesn't give good interviews. Like when questioned on what he's going to do, he doesn't give good interviews. If that's true, okay. But if it's not, again, I'm with you, Justin. He keeps going to the Super Bowl.
Like, what are you supposed to do? They're not allowed to talk to him normally. They're allowed to talk to him now through Zoom right now while he's while he's still.
I guarantee he's going to get looks when it's over.
And then as the Eagles, it's like, it's kind of go time. But I don't know why I'm holding this, but it's kind of like, why do you wait until after the Super Bowl so that he's like, what jobs are open? There's 2 left. I'm taking this one anyway. And then Sirianni takes an offensive coordinator job somewhere else, and then the other guy you like takes another, like striking the offensive coordinator we got. So I think we did the right thing. We hunkered down on a coach. We got a great offensive coordinator who made Justin Herbert look like God last year. And I think we're going to be good.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I'm ready to be heard again.
You're like me and the Red Wings. You were like me and the Red Wings.
Unless we do some amazing things in the draft and free agency, which we're not going to. I guarantee you Waddle will be there. We're not going to pick him.
I will say the most troubling thing that your new coach said was that Howie has the last call on all roster decisions.
That was a bummer.
That's troubling.
Although spin zone, I like it because if it doesn't go well, he said from the beginning, he's like, hey, it's all.
That's true. He did. Yeah, that's true. He kind of saved his own butt there. Yeah. So that's
no. But I was looking at the mock draft, and they think Smith's going number 3, so that'll leave Waddle at 6. We'll look at him. We'll take the whole time to think about it, and then we won't draft.
If Jamar Chase still there on the mocks you're looking at, or he
Jamar
went before
Chase is
too?
number 2, I think.
If Waddle's there, I think that I might go somewhere else. Only reason I'm saying that is injury, because I feel like Waddle might just be Deshaun Jackson, where we
Here's
get
the thing.
7 plays
I
out
think
of the
the
season.
I think the Eagles can't go wrong with getting a receiver or a linebacker. Those are the 2 things you should get in the first round.
You know who I really like though?
Which we won't get either.
Parsons,
really-
Bolton. There's a lot of good linebackers too. So
Who I really like? Kyle Pitts from Florida. Now I know we don't technically need a tight end, but the kid is basically Chase Claypool. You know, like because Claypool was basically supposed to be.
he's
a
the size of a
in the
tight end. Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah.
But like he has the same like size speed combo. So I would not. I know that drafting a tight end at 6 is weird, but it's not really drafting a.
Yeah,
tight
that's
end.
not
You're
a
drafting
sexy
big
pick.
receiver. I like him a lot, so I wouldn't be mad. And I think we're if I
All right,
find
now
out
this mock draft has us taking Jamar Chase is still there at 6.
yeah, it's going to be all sorts of weird. You know what
If
I've seen a
Jamar
couple
Chase,
of?
I'm going to say this right now. If Jamar Chase is available when it comes to us, if we do not pick him, I will not watch a single Eagles game next year.
All right, it's on camera.
Will not watch one, because after last year when I screamed in Justin's face about not picking, why did you
Hey,
call blank?
You stay
Justin Jefferson.
you stay
Yeah.
off the Rager wagon. If you don't,
Justin,
if
he did
Rager
so
goes off
much.
this
I
year-
forgot. He did so much. No, yeah, we're still waiting for Ortega Whiteside to go off, right? That's going to happen.
I don't like him. I never liked him.
Okay.
I like DK Metcalf, and everyone was all mad about him only being able to run straight, but he runs straight pretty well. He does it pretty well.
All right, boys, let's get into our last things last year. MJ,
I
go
actually
right
have,
ahead.
I think I have 3.
All right,
They'll
go
be
ahead.
short there. Well, number 1, I was reading this today. The Browns fans are screaming to go get Deshaun Watson. It was trending on Instagram and Twitter. Are you kidding me?
Did Baker Mayfield not just take you to the
Are you kidding
round
me? He
of
just
playoffs?
won you your first playoff game since '94. He beat the Steelers at the Steelers, which is your arch nemesis that destroyed you. He went 3,500 yards. He killed in the second half of the season, and he took his interceptions down from 21 to 8. He did everything in the world to improve, won you a playoff game, and they were in the Chiefs game. Let's be honest. They were in that
And
game.
teammates like him. He's a fun personality in the locker.
Are
Like,
you
I
like
know,
the
I'm
Browns
confused.
fans? Like, that's just greedy. That's
Yep.
horrible.
You got one play, you got a taste of playoff victory, and all of a sudden you're just
And what
ready
you'll
to
have
roll.
to give up to get Deshaun Watson, you'll be back in the same boat anyway, so it wouldn't matter. You'd be right back in the same boat. It wouldn't matter. And that was number 1. Number 2, the Baseball Hall of Fame this year decided not to put anyone in. Kev, did you see that?
No.
Baseball Hall of Fame, no one's making the Hall of Fame this year.
Oh,
No one.
the base. Sorry. Yeah. I did. I did.
When it comes to Kurt Schilling, I'm just going to say this. Whatever they do outside the game of baseball, it's on them. The Baseball Hall of Fame is judging what you did as your time as a player. And we've talked about this, about the NFL and Eli Manning. Can the game of baseball be
NTO,
told?
yeah.
Can the game of baseball be told without mentioning your name? And that's not possible. The Bloody Sock game will always be talked about, has been talked about. Kurt Schilling.
His whole
Yeah.
career from
Yeah.
Philadelphia through
How is he
Arizona and
not,
Boston.
again, if you don't agree with his politics are or what he's saying now, I get it. That's
Fine.
fine. But it's
fine.
about his baseball career. How he is not in the Hall of Fame blows my mind.
Absolute Hall of Famer. And to add to that, Scott Rowland. Why is he not in?
Why?
Why was Scott Rowland left off? I mean, the guy had arguably, dude, I was reading some of the stats on that. In some of the categories, he ranks higher or really close to Brooks Robinson, arguably the best third baseman ever. He's really close to Mike Schmidt in hitting. Like, the dude was really good.
rolling. It's what Harry Callis.
Scott Rowland.
Pat
Oh.
Burrell.
Pat Burrell going deep
The Bat Burrell. I saw him play at what were they
Best
called?
announcer in baseball history.
Wilkes-Barre, not Wilkes-Barre. What were they called? The
Altoona Curve?
The Red Barons up
Oh.
in Scranton. They're the little Yankees now, but when they were the Red Barons, Pat Burrell was there for I think he was coming off an injury and they needed to bring him back up through the system. Pat the
funniest-
Bat
yeah.
Burrell.
Funniest minor league thing I ever saw was when I went to a Steven Strasburg rehab start in Harrisburg, and the guy was throwing 98 to these AA players who were like, "Oh!"
That's got to be horrifying.
They're like, "I'm not ready.
Like-
I'm not ready."
I remember I was watching this is years ago, a high school game, and the kid was, he was throwing high 80s, low 90s as like a sophomore in high school. And standing behind the cage, listening to that ball come in, like you can hear the seams going.
Oh,
It's coming
just-
in. It's
dude, it's
horrifying.
terrifying. Yeah, but Scott Rowland, I can't believe he's not in either. It's just,
That's the most baseball thing too.
Here's the thing, though. The
Just
only
not
good
get
thing,
people
there's
involved.
one good thing about this, and it's that the class of 2020 will still have their own like enshrinement ceremony that they couldn't have because of COVID. It's the only good thing about it. Other than that, it's kind of stinky. So,
And did you see here? I told the committee, like, please take my name off the ballot for next year.
but
Like,
did
I'm
you
done.
see who they just added to help out with voting in the future?
Who?
Ken Griffey Jr. They gave him a big spot in there to talk
Wow,
about.
we're gonna actually use people that know baseball? No way.
Not just these old baseball writers,
But
man.
isn't it crazy that because if you think about it, we look at it now and we're like, yeah, but everyone knows that like the Barry Bonds years were the freaking best that
Roy
baseball's
era.
had in
Yeah.
forever. And
It-
like
it
the
got
Mark McGuire,
excitement
Sammy
back up
Sosa
about
years
baseball.
were like the best. Yeah. And then, but
Same
when you think about it though, in 35 years, when we're, in our late 60s at that point, 35 years from now, and our kids are
Yeah.
walking through the Hall of Fame, there's 0.0 chance they know who Barry Bonds is.
Yep.
Except for like really like hardcore fans. They're going to look at it
My
as
kids
everyone-
will.
Kids now look at Hank Aaron. I'm
Dude,
sure
I
they're
don't,
like,
I
yeah,
don't care
great.
what any
Like-
I don't care what anybody feels about the steroid era. You still have to hit
Best
the ball.
era. Best
Which is
era of
exactly
baseball,
hardest,
too.
which is
And
in my opinion, hitting a home run is the hardest sports
thing in
to
baseball.
do. No, I
Yeah,
think in sports in
absolutely.
general. In sports in general.
Absolutely.
Like
I mean, you
feel
have
like
to have
I
the
feel
bat
like
speed. Oh my
it's-
god!
You still have to hit the ball. Like
Yeah,
I
the
get it. I
timing,
get it.
all of
Like
it.
the strength was there, but the timing and the hand-eye coordination still has to be there.
Yeah.
Like,
And I mean, here's the thing: if you want to be all, bring the morals of baseball, whatever, but at least put the guys in and give a little asterisk next to their name, and just
Whatever.
say they played during the Royd era. That's fine. I don't care. But put
yeah,
the
but
guys
Kevin,
in.
it's like any championship that was won in 2020 should have an asterisk
Yeah.
next to it.
yeah,
Anyone.
absolutely.
Not saying it shouldn't be valued, but it should be noted.
Noted that it was a shortened season, different
Yeah.
circumstance. Because
Yeah,
also it was also a little more difficult in certain respects. So
Yeah,
you get that into
absolutely.
it as well.
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I think just note it and no one will care. But you can't erase your own history, especially an era in which the game was literally saved after one of the worst lockout and strike seasons in all of sports.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Was that your last one?
I thought
No,
I
you
had a
had a
third
third
one,
one.
but I just can't remember it.
All right, Justin.
The first two were more important to me.
No, so mine is with Aaron Rodgers. Did you guys see like his post-game press conference? Basically, just like
Very sad.
that, especially on that fourth down. So basically, instead of they were 8 yards away, fourth down, fourth and goal. If you go for it, you're down 8, you miss. Tom Brady has to take the ball on the 10-yard line with two timeout, or with you have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. There's a
Right.
chance that you get the ball back. They punt it to like this 40-yard line, like you're
I'll
40.
never understand that play call.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just like
idiotic.
this. It was just like the Steelers, Kev.
Yep.
You had all the momentum in the world going. Let's punt it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I-
Mike. Thank you.
So I don't know, that one's rough. But then what's ended up happening is there's a bunch of stuff out now that Aaron Rodgers might
Well,
want out.
Would you
Um,
did you see? I mean, Justin, like if you look at like some of the things these coaches have done, that's to me. If you look at Andy Reid now, that's his biggest improvement. As is his
Dude,
coaching is
His clock
far
management,
his clock management is far beyond what
1,000%
Philadelphia.
different. Yeah.
I mean, granted,
Like we used to
granted,
always
he
say,
has-
"Oh, they're doing Andy Reid clock management here," like for a coach.
No,
That's what
like he
called it.
literally like subtract Patrick Mahomes. They made the playoffs the 3 straight years before that and had 11 and 12 game win
Yeah.
seasons. Like his maturity as a coach is amazing now. Like these
Yeah.
coaches, it's like when they go for conversions in like the first quarter. What are you doing?
It's
Yeah,
like,
why?
well, the numbers say it's like, no, they don't, dude. There's no.
Yeah, the number said that Dougie P should have got more 4th and 1s than he did. It
Yeah.
didn't happen.
The math is the math. It's like, well, whatever, just play the game. But yeah, no. So I don't think I can't see Aaron Rodgers anywhere else though. You know, like I'm thinking
I
about
can't
teams
either.
that need quarterbacks. Like, how would you? Like, where would he go?
And also, there's a lot of players that say he's not the easiest guy to be around in the locker room. So
Yeah.
you really got to take that into account as well.
Dude, they told him this all past offseason, and they said not this offseason, when they hired Matt LaFleur, don't be the problem.
Yeah.
Like, don't be the problem.
Yeah, well, Matt
Yeah.
LaFleur turned into the problem when he's
That
trotting
was
out
rough. That was
the,
real
the
rough.
field goal team.
Yeah, that was rough.
4th and 8. But yeah, so I don't see him going anywhere else, but it's going to be something interesting to watch this off season to see if a team tries to make a big splash. And
Yeah, they'll go 13-3 again and not make the Super Bowl. That'll probably won't happen again.
yeah. I hope he
My
wins
last
MVP,
thing-
though. He deserves it.
My last thing's last is
He's had plenty of opportunities. Either win it or don't.
He went 48-5 though. He had a great year.
yeah. So
James Harden of football, you crushed it, man. You crushed it.
my last thing's last. All of St. Louis and Cardinal Nation is taking a big sigh of relief that Adam Wainwright is going to finish his career where he started. Uncle Charlie signed a 1-year deal the other day to remain with the Cardinals. It was definitely something that was speculated. Is he going to go back to his hometown, play for the Braves, the team that drafted him, but he did not play in the major leagues for? He got traded to the Cardinals as a minor leaguer. I think it's really important, especially, I mean, Justin, you just highlighted it with Aaron Rodgers of like, I can't picture him in another uniform. I think it's important in like an era of sports where we're seeing so many players either chase the money, which no fault against them to do that, chase the money or go to a team that they want to win with. For a guy like Adam Wainwright, who has been with them since he came up in 2006 and has been an incredible pitcher, a Cy Young caliber pitcher throughout all those seasons. I mean, the famous, as a rookie, striking out Carlos Beltran, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, every like kid's dream in your backyard throwing a baseball, being able to do that against what was the best hitter in baseball at the time, then going to the World Series and getting the final out on a strikeout. Fighting back from Tommy John surgery a couple times, just he's had such a remarkable career and he's done so much for the organization that it would have been really hard to see him in any other uniform than St. Louis. So good on the Cardinals for getting something done. I'm glad that Adam's going to finish out. This is for sure his last year, finish out in St. Louis. Now we just got to sign Yachty and let him finish out, or Yachty might retire. But, either way, glad to have Uncle Charlie back in St. Louis. So this will be a really fun farewell season for him. But yeah, that would have been really tough to see him in a Braves uniform. So. Yeah.
Also, one more thing. Jason Witten retired, in case anybody was wondering.
Again, I hope he goes back to Monday Night Football.
No, he's going to get signed by Dallas for 1 day so he can retire as a Cowboy.
He should. I mean, that makes sense. You should do that.
I mean, but he's definitely. I think he's got to be a top 5 tight end.
Dude, that's what I hope they do with
He's gotta
Albert
be a top.
Pujols. When Pujols is about to retire, I hope that he's like, can you guys sign me to a 1-day contract in St. Louis? I'll leave.
Also,
Cardinal.
Kevin, speaking on chasing the money, I just pulled this up. I'm pretty sure the last 10 Super Bowl winners, maybe 9, has not had a top 5 paid quarterback like at that time. So that tells you, as soon as you pay your quarterback, it's really hard, unless everyone else is already paid, to keep talent or put talent around them.
Yeah, and I mean the reason the Steelers are in the position with Ben is because they gave him like that legacy bonus, for like the last couple seasons.
He got
which
paid. I've never.
great, but
I mean, that's
Kobe
football.
contract.
That's football's fault for
Yeah.
not paying guys sooner. You're paying them for what they did, not what they're going to do.
well, and that's the thing. They paid him right before he got hurt for the whole season.
Like everyone thought,
yeah.
this shit, like with Tom Brady, like I saw some that he got too much money. I'm like, I think he'll be all right. I mean, they're not paying him for what he did. They're paying him. You better do something, and they're in the Super Bowl. By the way, we are also right, Kev. If Tampa Bay's defense shows up against anyone, they're going to win. That defense was ferocious.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we'll give our Super Bowl breakdown and picks next week, so tune in for that. But until then, we will see you guys soon. And remember to give us subscribe to the page. Check us out on YouTube, our website. All that stuff is on our social media platforms. We mainly use, of course, Instagram and Twitter. So check those out. And that's Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you guys, and we will see you soon.